Everyone will be running our demo. So firstly, we will be doing our MCU project registration, where country A has to register a project with UNFCCC by submitting a transaction to the MCU smart contract to get the MCU token. So firstly, we get the MCU registration address by putting it in, and then we have to sign it with our wallet address and our private key. So we'll put it in, and we will be waiting for the country role to be granted by the MCU smart contract, which will be done automatically, and it will be reflected on the blockchain. So we will include our project details for our carbon positive project, such as project reforestation and reforesting the Amazon. We will add in our project types, as well as our currency, which we plan to support RLUSD for better fiat transactions. We will add in our emission data and then register our project, and it will be reflected in our Explorer. As you can see, we have a grant role as well as a transaction has been locked. And now it's pending for the signed transaction by the UNFCCC. So now we'll be running a script for UNFCCC by at first indicating the MCU smart contract address. And we'll put it in. And then we'll also be putting our UNFCCC wallet address, and we will write in the project ID that the country has submitted, and we are in charge of validating the data as well as setting the validation amount. So it means that we recognize the amount of carbon emission, the offset that they have reported, and we have mint 15 MCU tokens for them to offset their NDCs. As you can see on Explorer, there is a token transfer, and within the token transfer, you can notice that we have minted and transferred 15 MCU tokens. And that's the end for our first part of. We will now be showing the process of country A and country B bilateral agreement. First, they will send a request to UNFCCC to draft up the agreement, and they will begin drafting our agreement by entering the ITMO registry smart contract address, and then a seller will be entering the seller country's wallet address to recognize the seller, and then the smart contracts will have a role granted to the smart sellers, as well as keying in the buyer wallet address to recognize the buyer. So 2 country roles have been allocated per buyer and selling. And then now the UNFCCC will write in the price detated in the agreement, and then as well as the payment method, which is currently supported in crypto, and the agreement expiry date, which is 5, and transfer expiry date. So once the agreement is being created, it's being locked into the blockchain and can be referred in the Explorer anytime. So now we key in the agreement ID. Since there's an agreement ID being generated, we check Explorer right now to check if the transaction has been locked. So the transaction of the agreement has been created, and we will be validating this agreement by making everyone sign in this agreement. So 3 parties will be signing this agreement: the seller, buyer, and UFCCC as a supervisory body. So right now we'll be entering the ITMO registry address, and we'll be entering the agreement ID that they generated to refer to the agreement that we are trying to validate. So we'll be signing in as a seller first. We'll key in our private key, and we'll manage to sign it. And now we're moving on to the buyer side. We'll be keying the registered contract address, and then we'll be keying in our agreement ID, and we'll be keying in our private key. And now everything is signed, and we also need the UNFCCC to sign it for authentication that the agreement is fair and abide to all of the UN regulations. So now that we are trying to sign the transaction, we enter the agreement ID again and sign as a UNFCCC. Now that everything is signed, the agreement is actually approved and live and is able to be traded. So we'll be running a script for trading the ITMOs. So they will validate all of the address as well as the UNFCCC role. So we make sure that everyone is a buyer, seller, and the supervisory body wallets. So make sure everyone is the proper partners, and the metadata is generated based on all the agreements. And now it will go and verify with other contracts whether if the buyer and seller have the sufficient token to make the transaction. It will be checking if the seller has enough MCUs, and it will check whether the buyer has enough XRP to facilitate the trade. And now the trade is completed because it's checked. The trade is being completed and the transaction between. Now we will showcase how we're going to retire the MCU tokens for countries to offset their NDCs. First, this is an automated script, so that we are retiring 5 MCUs, and we have the contract address to retire it, and we have the participant or private keys. So you can see from the transaction in Explorer that we managed to retire it. It's very straightforward. We send it to the burn wallet so that no one can access these MCU tokens that have been successfully retired. We're ensuring our compliance to the agreement. Thank you.